All right, I'm gonna start now. A couple of things we're gonna be talking about tonight. We're gonna be answering questions about some of the tactical, some of the positional questions. And I'm gonna start though with for Gala FC and Snohomish FC, Snohomish Steelheads FC, winning attitude for them. Winning attitude is everything for an athlete. Athletic attitude is different than a normal attitude, really. Like the athletes, they always crave to get better. They always want to improve themselves, and it's a big difference between the rec attitude. I just want to have fun versus I always want to get better, right? And we're going to be kind of talking about this, and this is not just for the players. This is for the coaches, and this is for the parents, because one of the most important thing is. When a coach tries to do something, it's so important. The car ride home after the game or after practice is with the parents. The parents' support is critical. Either parents are able to give an excuse for the kid, or they actually support the coach or support their soccer, and they wanna really improve their kid. And it's very important, this attitude. So we're gonna be starting with ex-player, which is a player is not necessarily my favorite player. I deal players like this all the time, but it's not my favorite player. Ex-player, I don't know if you guys can see all this. I hope you can. It is never their fault or their problem. They are surrounded with people who supports that mentality. Like it's never their fault or their problem. When they make mistakes, they don't own up to it. There's always an explanation for it, right? And then always giving excuses for being late. So many different excuses for being, not responsible. Like all excuses for it. Like bottom line, my coach used to say about this is like you can create an excuse, or you can create a situation that you will not give a chance to have any excuses for it. That's the best translation I can come out with. Let's see. Okay, they say it's cut off a little bit. I'll go a little bit this way. Hopefully that's better. All right. So always have an answer for everything. They just like, if we criticize a player and they always have to explain themselves, that's definitely not a winning attitude, top level athlete. And that's definitely a prima donna. That's definitely a player or a coach or a parent who already thinks he got it all. And how do you improve a person who thinks they got it all, right? And it's important that we got rid of that and putting heads down. Like these people usually seem to be so confident, I know it all, is they're usually the ones to have the most insecure thing about themselves. And unfortunately, when the time comes that they need to perform, if things aren't going well, what they call in sports psychology is a quicksand. One thing goes wrong, another one goes wrong, another one goes wrong, and just quicksand, you're going down and down during the game or practice, and you feel like you're not going to get out of it. And it's actually all a choice. You can get out of it, guys. And have small expectations for themselves. Very small expectations. This ex-player is definitely not a top-level athlete wannabe. And they love the glory of Sunday soccer, the rec soccer, that for a lot of our players, their parents unfortunately encourage them, play a lot of soccer, it's going to make you great. And let me just tell you this. I've been doing it for 20 years. The players who's been playing in Cash Park non-stop has gone nowhere. And players who's been training constantly with different trainers, different clubs, and have an organized training session. They're playing for Sounders right now. They're playing in MLS right now. They're playing D1, D2 right now. But all those players who's playing extra soccer, winning those trophies and Sunday soccer, like all those like Olympic leagues and this and that leagues, they are going nowhere. And I have so many examples that does that, and I have so many examples that they actually compete and they do an amazing job. All right. And winner and a top athlete attitude. No excuses ever surrounded with people with honest support system. What does that mean? They support you, they want you to do better, but they're being honest with you. Okay? And just like me, a lot of people from outside, they think I'm mean and this and that. But the bottom line is, I do completely care about what you guys do. I want you to improve, and I do not degrade you. I demand that you do better because you have so much potential. You understand? So we really need to get to that point that we need to surround ourselves with people like that. And sometimes I've seen situations that a kid get a D1 scholarship, but the parent was a wrong parent. She was always, or he was always giving an excuse. Oh, no, it's not your fault. You can do this and you can do no. It's this and this and that. But a kid actually told the parents, you don't know. Like, you're just telling me what I want to hear. I want to be pushed. I want to be criticized. And those are the guys who goes far. And or sometimes you got the right parents and to tell you, okay, you got to do better. I'm proud of you. I love what you're doing, but I know you got more in you than what you're giving. And that's the right attitude. So also this player can take criticism and craves criticism. My top players, I'm telling you, some of my players played in the World Cup. Some of them went to Germany and Sweden and Turkey to play professional. Some of them went to Mexico. Some of them, like, not all great examples because they didn't achieve it, but some of them did great job and they achieved it. But one thing in common is they crave for criticism. Like, they want more. I have had players who came to me. They're like, Daji, why are you not yelling at me? I want you to push me. I don't like this. I feel like you're giving up on me. That's the guys who goes far, who goes absolutely incredibly far. So I hope that you guys get that mentality. I'm not here to be a mean guy. I'm trying to, and the same with some of our coaches. They want the better for you. They care, okay? And never put your head down. You may fall, but look at it as a lesson and get back up. And reach it or not, have high goals for yourselves and many goals. Have many goals for yourselves. That's a very critical thing. You will not be able to achieve all of them, but like I said, there's a 3-goal level for Gala. An immediate goal, you can have a goal a little further ahead, something reachable but hard work, and then something like almost reaching out the sky, like reaching out to the stars, right? Like, but it's good to have those. Like, you gotta reach, you gotta be able to do that stuff. Like, otherwise, you're so easily satisfied with yourself, right? You want to push yourself. You want to be happy with what you do, but you want to make sure that you understand that hunger makes you better. Make good choices in life and relationship. Like, I've lost so many players, and I can see always, unfortunately, last 20 years, you can see when they get into drugs, they slowly become lazy. And they do not want to do things. They just want to hang out at home. They want to just play video games and hang out. And they just always relaxed. And when they make those choices or wrong relationships, they become friends with the wrong people. Their boyfriend or girlfriend is not the right person to support them. They try to always encourage them to do things outside of school, outside of soccer. Soccer and school is what you guys need to focus on if you want to be successful in life in general. They train more and play less games. This is a key one. A lot of our parents, unfortunately, think, wait, let's play a cash park. Let's do this. Let's go out there and kick the ball. Let's do like high school kick-arounds. It's great. It's not great. It's not organized soccer. It's like you playing FIFA. It does as much. You playing FIFA and Xbox and PlayStation 4 is doing exactly the same amount of improvement for your soccer. You don't have a training session that is you're learning something and you're working on things. You're not improving, guys. You're just not improving, okay? So you need to change that attitude. And then also playing only with organized teams and under good coaching. And you all can recognize good coaching, and you can recognize our coaches care about you guys. You can also easily recognize that. So I hope that you guys understand that that's exactly the attitude we're gonna have, and go from there. Okay, I'm gonna be going into some of the questions right now. I hope, do you have any questions about that before I start? I know there's a delay, so I'm gonna wait. I'm just waiting for a response from you guys. I'm gonna wait 1 minute. I'm gonna start with the first question. We're gonna be starting with a question from Madison. All right. So Madison, I think it's from the 06 girls team, is asking, what does an ideal cross look like? And a lot of times when the cross position comes to this outside player right here, if you can get the players off guard and they're still trying to run back to defense, right in front of the goalie, right around here, on the ground is the perfect cross. Okay, in this situation when we caught them off guard, a lot of times you don't have to actually lift the ball up unless the defense is set. Now, when the defense is set inside the box, a high and driven cross is more useful because it's harder to defend. But when they are off guard and they are pushed high and you just got them off guard and they're trying to run back to inside this way, it's a good idea to, you know, cross it a little away from keeper, but hard enough on the ground, and it will be easy for the player to step in and just tap the ball into the corner. Okay, and one of the hardest to defend when it's on the ground like that. If the defense is set up and you don't actually have a lot of time, like they come in, but the defense is set up, but one of the best ideas is a lot of forwards unfortunately make this run and they come here and they don't have an angle to score a goal, in our club at least. But a smart forward always goes into this blind spot of the player. Okay, if the number 5 right here is a smart player, he's gonna see this, and that opens another blind spot right here. And yes, this player will see it, but it will be too late by the cross that comes. So a good position will be here, a driven cross on air, this area, or right here, high enough to the back post right here, is a very dangerous area to cross. Okay, like I said, depends on the positional and how you look like in there. All right, let's see. Madison also asked, what does an ideal offense for a 3-5-2 looks like? So this is a 3-5-2 setup against a 4-4-2. Okay, let's just say this player right here has the ball, the 2 forwards will be sliding. One of them can give an option right here, and one of them stays the last guy. And number 10 can be here, can go to back post, depends on if you're beating the player or not. Right now he can go in here. This player can go up here. He's gonna play a defensive role, and outside midfield should be coming into this gap. And this player is giving a drop. This player is moving. So if this player has the ball, we can give this. Another thing you can do, one of the forwards can make a diagonal run here. Ball released. That means you can go inside here. Number 9 is going to be in the front post in the back. You see that is in the blind spot right here. And number 10 should be running inside as well as a second player. If this player sees that, number 4 sees that number 9, he sneaks into this gap. Number 3 is already there. And the mid is going to be stepping into that gap, and then we're going to be going in attack position right there. You have a drop, you have everything going on. What do we do with the rest of the players? They spread out a little bit, and they can be, this guy can step in here, this guy can step there, and you see that that's the one of the defenders stepping into D mid position. This is a D mid and stepping to that gap. And the player is recovering, but you have a cross there, and we're in a shape like that. Okay, that's the 3-5-2 with 2 forwards and attacking mid. If one of the forwards get the ball, the number 10 role becomes forward, so he becomes another number 9. When you play, by the way, we talked about number 9s. When you play a 3-5-2, guys, you usually play, I'm going to rewind it back a little bit. I'm going to put these two as, let's just say, the two forwards. And this is the right mid, let's just say, and this is the outside. No, this is, no, my bad. This is the number 10 role, and this is the number 9 role. So when we play this system, one player becomes a false 9. When you play a 3-5-2 instead of 3-4-3, one player is a false 9 always. He checks in to help the number 10, and then the other one becomes the last guy, poacher. So I just want you guys to remember that when we play a 3-5-2, unless the coach asks, I want 2 last guy poachers as number 9, and that's usually when we're going to be doing more direct balls over the top, and that's different. But usually one of you checking into that gap to be a part of the attack. One guy stays last guy to keep them involved and also be ready for any kind of attack goes behind the defense. Usually we prefer that player to be quicker, this player to be stronger and more technical. Yeah? Any questions about those questions? Great questions, Madison, by the way. So we're going into Riley's question. Riley asks, at what distance apart from each other would be ideal to make a triangle passing? So this is an interesting question because there's a lot of things in soccer, guys. It's very situational. Like situational is also how the other team is playing, and how they're responding to you, and how much space they're giving you. But ideally, let's go to this screen right here. Ideally, let's just say you're dealing with this many people. Okay, so ideally, when a player steps, obviously in this case you're gonna back up, and this player can be here. One person passes here. After, I mean, of course, this pass goes here, this pass goes there, and he fills in this gap, and he's filling up there. He's going up here. This player is coming in, checking in here. So pass goes to this player. This player is coming in. So we're constantly seeing these triangles, but also we're also seeing a lot of through balls too, right? So I would say ideally, if this kind of space is given to us, ideally 10 yards, like 6 to 10, 6 to 12 yards. But it really, again, it's situational. I can't really give a straight answer with that, but I can explain to you how we are seeing the triangle. So let's just say this player gives the ball to this player. You can pass it here, but you also see this, right? So you can pass it to that player. How do you create a triangle here? This player is running back, and this player is here. So he is running back, right? So you can do 1, 2, and he's one-on-one with the keeper, and he's still onside, right? And or he's still in like this position. He can make a diagonal run and get the ball, and he can score a goal in there. But bottom line is, creating triangles is about anticipating, right? Like a lot of times, unfortunately, this is what happens to our players. So let's just say we created a triangle. Okay, this player is a target forward, passes it, drops it back to this player, and this player passes back to the open. Now we are good. We did a triangle, but unfortunately now this player right here that passed it back, the moment she or he passed it back, should be running to create another triangle. And when this player passes back to this player, should be making another triangle. So 1, 2, and we're there. And unfortunately, a lot of times we have pause moments of like watching the game. And that's one of the biggest difference. Like a lot of coaches say, we see a lot of talented players. They have this skill level of a professional player, but they don't have the knowledge or the movement of a professional player. So they don't make it. And so like when I tried out, I told you there's 400 people in different areas, and we did different things, and I didn't think I could make it after seeing some of the guys what can do with the ball, but I was consistent and I was always moving off the ball. I did exactly what the coaches wanted from me, and I made it. Out of 400 people, I was one of the only ones that made it. So it's about really being consistent, and it's about moving off the ball. Okay, so it's really, really critical and really, really important that we are constantly anticipating those movements. All right, let's see. Question comes: when do defense do give and goes? With the 3-5-2 system, Riley, we don't like to do give and goes in defensive areas that much. Yes, there will be situations that you could do it. So let's just say if this number 3 has the ball and number 5 is making a run, backing up right here for you, you can drop it to that player. When the pressure comes, the player can pass it to space right here and you can attack. But I would ideally say only on the outside if you feel like that's the only way you can get out. But ideally with the 3 defender system, you don't really want to do a lot of giving goals. You want to do open the game and safe passing when it comes to that. I hope that answers your question. So like I said, you can do it, give and go, like with the outside back, you can actually attack too as long as the whole defense is sliding too, but only on the outsides if you have to do it. Does that answer your question? Any questions about any of this, guys? Maya asked, how do you do a good defensive job when you're defending a cross? We kind of explained that in the last video. I'm going to go really quick with this one, Maya. So the center backs need to run early. Like let's just say if a cross is coming from this blue player, center backs need to make a run early enough to face out. Face out means what? Facing away from the goal, right? They need to run early enough, and at least they need to try to get there as early as they can so they can know where they're going to pass so they can possess the ball. And last again, Maya, I don't know if you watched the last video. The last video is still up. Please watch that because it shows what the number 2 position is supposed to do. We covered all that in the last video. Please watch that video from the beginning to the end because it covers all that clearly in there. Ava is asking, where should wings be when defending? Same thing, we kind of covered that in the last session, but let's just give an example right here. If this is a defensive line, I want them, if there's a player right here, you're going to be defensive like this, about 5-6 yards in front of the last defender, but you're going to come back all the way. So the moment we lose possession of the ball, you're going to be a right back, a wing back. And the moment we have the ball, you're a number 7, you're going to be going wide and attacking right away. Does that make sense? The second question from Eva is actually a good one. How far should forwards be when they're defending? Okay, so I'm going to pull these guys a little bit more. Oh, maybe, yeah, I can pull them, yeah. So let's go with, we're going to be pulling all these players back. All these players back. Alright, and we're going to have to put all these guys in attacking positions too. I apologize for the wait for that. Alright, let's see. Everybody in their dogs play 4-4-2, so we just set up their way. So this is the D-mix, and let's just say number 5 just passed the ball to number 3. We kind of covered that last session again, but I want them going this deep. When the player comes this, you see the triangle? We create that. That gives a little bit more space for this player and this player to go deep. This player needs to be sliding here, so this far. So what if the player is dribbling and he's not, suddenly we get caught off guard, and this guy is dribbling, right? How far do you follow? You follow it as far as this, and if you know it's 100% goal opportunity, you can even go further than that. But I want you guys to come this far, which is about 25 yards, and unless, like I said, it's your defense get off guard and you're getting beat up there, and you can go all the way back. But we want you to keep your energy as much as you can. So most of the time around here, we want you to stop. Okay. My questions screen is about to die, guys. I hope it won't, but all right. One question came from Coach Jason. He asked, in a kickoff, how do you look like? I think it's this one. How do you look like in a kickoff in a 3-5-2? So we're assuming this is the number 10 and this is the other number 9. We used to require to do one touch passing forward so you can go. Now we don't have that requirement anymore. So even though you're not playing with 3 forwards, you want them wider from each other and pass it back to one of the number 6 and 8. And at this point, I think that you need to step up. Once the ball goes up there, you need to start stepping up. And let's just say if it comes to number 8, he can pass to number 3. The player is going to be running at him. The player is going to be running 8 to 3, right? And that opens up the number 7 here. 7 gets the ball, pass to number 11. Number 9 can make a run. That also means that number 9 is clear in the way. So you need to be stepping to these gaps. And honestly, you're in attack position right away. I hope that answers. Let's see. Maddie Smith is asking, how should we position when we are taking a throw-in an attacking third? Okay, let's just say this player is taking a throw-in, a long throw. Obviously, we set up long throws, right? So we set up Sweden. I don't want to talk too much about our system that much, guys, in here. But we set up Sweden. Just like in the corner, right? One person will be here. One person will be here. One person there. Let's just say they're coming back here. All right, so Sweden's setup is this. So long throw comes to here. One of the players is going to be running to this area for a drop if the throw-in is bad. The other ones are there. One goes to the goalie. 2 people blocks the goalie's view, and one person makes a run to back post. Goalie, this area we are crowding it so they won't be able to see the ball, and anything bounces out is this guy or this guy's ball. If they can somehow go out, closest player is going to be stepping to those guys while these guys are recovering, and it gives enough time for everybody else to recover. We're really focusing right now, Ajit, the red team. If I move everybody, I know you guys want me to, and I want to do that too. But if I move everybody, we're going to be having like a 3-hour session here. And I'm all for that. But you're the one that you guys wanted a shorter session. So I need to move on fast. So I'm trying to really focus on the red team. All right. Another question. How should an attacking mid be defending during a corner from the other team? That's a good question. Let's say that we got set up, and you know what, Maddie, we're sending actually a video of defending and corners and free kicks. You can see that there for the attacking mid player. I either want you to be one of the players who's going to be going out for an outlet so you can attack. And in this case, if we are defending a corner around here somewhere, I want one player here and the other one inside the box marking somebody. So we just need to have coaches decide who. But I don't want to kind of give it away this live to public. We're going to be sending you guys a video about how to defend corners and free kicks for our system. All right, Coach Jeff is asking, what are the couple situations when you would switch to a false nine? And I did cover this a little bit, Jeff. I don't know if you were watching at the time. Like, let's just say we are in this situation, right? Like, the other team is defending. Now some of you guys are going to be like, oh my god, look at the other team. You want me to put everybody there? I will, but I don't have the time right now. Okay, so when we have the ball in here, let's just say this is, it says 3 on it, but it's somebody else right now. If we make this guy a false 9, obviously they're going to be more compact, right? False 9, he's checking in means the other players need to be going wide, because once he gets the ball and turns with the ball, he's going to be able to see a lot of space on the outside. So false 9 being checking in means somebody on the outside needs to be going wide and given an option. Or start wide, and if this player are stupid enough to go man mark you, that gives a lot of space in front of you so you can make a diagonal run to here and get the ball. By the way, when I say that stupid decision, I hope that our outside mids heard that. Because if you man mark close on the outsides, you know, you give a lot of space in the center. And when you play with the 3-back system, that's not usually a good thing for you. And false 9 also can be possession, right? So you can actually involve the center mids to create combinations here and combine. Let's just say this guy passed the ball to you, right? You can actually involve this guy, and that guy can see the through ball right here, and they're recovering, and you can make another one here, 1, 2, and the other center mid maybe make a run here, bomb, and outside players coming out. Look at the options that you can have if you have a technical possession team. If you don't have a technical possession team, false 9 is definitely not a good idea to have. Why do we decide? Good question. So when the other team outside backs are not coming back and they are doing an incredible job in the center defending our players, like let's just say these 2 center backs are so strong, we're just not be able to beat them. That will be a good time to ask, hey guys, outside forwards, I don't want you guys to come back to center anymore. I want you to stay wide. Number 9, you're going to be a false 9. So I want you to get the ball, distribute it, and we're going to try to attack from the wide. Did you hear that? So Lauren from the 05 girls team is asking, what do we do when we look up and find an open player, but we're trapped and nobody's open? So she's looking for an option. She gets the ball and she looks up to find an open player, and they're just not opening up, right? I think that's what she's trying to say. Like the thing is, obviously this is a tactical problem, or your player is not being open is off the ball movement. Lauren, this is not necessarily your fault, right? I'm just gonna go to a different screen. I'm just gonna kind of talk about this. So like the players need to be open away from pressure, right? So what we talk about is what can the ball see, right? Like if you have the ball right here, if the player is running to you, this player making a run forward, that ball is not going to go there. So you need to be able to see the angles, right? Like this angle, that angle is what the player can see. This angle and this angle is what the player can see without getting any pressure. And this angle to that angle the player can see. But anything in here, let's just say we put the yellow, that's not a good areas to be. And unfortunately, Lauren, a lot of our players, they kind of hide themselves behind these lines. And I even see like, I'll go back to movement. Oh, I'm open, look at the through ball. Are you really open? What do you want her to do? Like, you wanted to do a full rainbow over everybody to give you a through ball right here? Because there is a player in the way. And they have legs they can use. So they can step their left foot forward and they won't be able to give that pass to you. So that's a good question, Lauren. Number one, the problem is the off the ball movement is not great, right? But you look bad, Lauren, when you make the choice. Let's get rid of all that. When you make the choice to panic and try to give this pass, who looks bad? So from outside, people who doesn't know the game, or people who just looks at it as a simple view, you just made a mistake. So why are you making a mistake? If you don't see the pass, turn it around and either pass to somebody, okay? Or if you see so many players and they're all marked up and absolutely no option, you're gonna need to try to beat the player one time and put the ball either to the open player now, and we're hoping that when you beat this player, you will have an open space, or up high back corner. You don't want it to kick it out. You want it to go up there. That gives enough time, even the worst case scenario, that gives enough time for us, whole team, to step up and push up high. Don't risk this if you have to, if you don't have to. So if this player is just coming at you and you don't have an option because this player is lazy and being marked, just put the ball up top. If you don't have the time and space, put the ball up top. But if you do have the time and space, and you have players open, or maybe they're not open yet, but they're making a run, you need to have a vision to see this run and put the ball to where they will be, and that's going to be another option too. I hope that answers your questions. So Caleb asks, what is the, let's see, what is best to have during set plays, 12 players in the front post or back? Again, another one, guys, a set play question. We will be sending a video to you guys. We don't want to give away all our secrets in public live chat. So, Caleb, great question again, but I will cover that when it comes. Coach Gilberto asked, again, he was talking about my set play video, but I like the question itself, even though he didn't mean it like this. He said, when do we use the cheat method? And when is it not a good idea to do, right? Cheat method, we were talking about this. Let's just say the 4 defenders, this player has the ball. Outside forward steps to this guy. Center forward steps to this guy. Right forward from there, he comes back and steps to here. And obviously here, we step, right? We step. I think this is the outside mid. He starts cheating. Okay, he starts cheating. That means this guy is going to be sliding this way a little bit more. And this guy is going to have to come back because they're coming. And this guy here. And this guy maybe covers this area a little bit. And this guy comes here a little bit. And this guy starts cheating in here. When we don't do a cheat when the player already give the pass to goalie. And they are thinking about using the center. At this point, we see that they're not going to go wide right away. It's not a good idea to step to this player and to give this space right here, okay? Another time, it's not a good idea to cheat. We say cheat, opposite side start coming in, right? So we usually say it like, if they try to open it, he can step in and steal this ball and even score a goal right away, right? That's when you cheat on the opposite side. Another thing you don't want to cheat is we're winning 2-0 and this team is a strong team and this player right here is already been giving you a hard time. You don't have to cheat. You know, like that would be a bad choice in general for your tactic. Okay? Alright, Andrew Escalante from the Snowman Steelheads, guys. I hope you guys are excited when we come back. We can't have you guys be at the games. Andrew is definitely a player who's been there from the beginning and who was there in that key game, in the championship game, and he was a key moment. He's a forward, but he had to play defense, and he did a great job. Andrew is asking, as a forward, would you like me to hold up the ball or try to go behind the line with the pace? Now, that's a good question, because I'm asking our forwards do what? So let's just say this is their shape. And we have the ball, we kind of, let's just say a little bit higher, let's just say, all right. If the ball comes far, hold the ball, and if you checked it, hold the ball when we don't have enough numbers. So if you get in a situation, Andrew, like you feel like you're the only one up there, there is no reason for you to try to beat the guy, because especially in our level, any team is not going to give you just one-on-one right away, right? The other player is going to be covering the player right away. So they're not going to give you an easy one, right? But if you see we have enough numbers, or if you see you literally have one guy to beat and turn, obviously you can read that play and go one-on-one, use your poacher role. Because what do we say? Our number 9 should be a target and a poacher. Target when we want to make sure we get more numbers. So he holds the ball, we get more numbers, and he's making another diagonal run. Ball comes to him, he's making a run here, he's making a run here. Cross comes from this guy, and then they try to finish it. So number 9 can be a poacher, not just to go in, but in this case, if he holds the ball long enough, he might end up becoming the assist guy, not only the poacher, right? Poacher is going to be trying to go right here, let's just say. He sees this through ball right here. Poacher is always the guy who's going to try to go to goal. So you just need to make sure that you catch a player one-on-one for sure. And if you recognize there's a pressure cover situation, it's better to be holding this player off and waiting for more numbers. I hope that answers your question. TJ has a question. How do you want us to start the games? Possession to control it, or high intensity and force the ball up the field? Like, number one, that question is a good question. Number one, it is a lot of situations, right? One, what type of players do we have? Two, what is the other team like? If they are a possession team and they are a very non-possession team, and if you try to knowing your technical level is lower than them, let's just say, if you try to overpossess a team who is known as to be possession team, you are not going to be walking out of here with a fun time. Like if you try to play Barcelona against Barcelona, I don't think you're going to succeed. And that's been like, there's a couple arguments about that in world soccer. Oh, I can beat Barcelona with Barcelona. They tried and it became really miserable. When Mourinho first came to Real Madrid, he wanted to play a 4-3-3 against Barcelona because he wanted to possess the ball and he wanted to attack. And that became, I don't remember the score, if any of you guys remember that. That was a blowout when he tried a three midfielders. He got murdered. You really need to be defending a team like that and playing direct ball and really challenging their defense. When a technical teams like that, possession teams, even their defenders like to possess the ball and try to do tricks in the back. When you recognize a team like that, you can use that against them. And that depends on what. But majority of the time, TJ, we want to start every game with possession and read the game how it's going, unless the coach tells you otherwise, right, from the beginning. If you remember, one of the biggest wins we had was a lot of these guys were trying to sign for UW. We played this Paradores team. They were undefeated for a long time. And we played, I knew how they played. They liked to play everything from the back. So we played a 2-5-3, 3 forwards, 5 midfielders, and 2 defenders only. And we beat that team 4-1 and destroyed them. Absolutely one of the most fun games I watched in the last couple of years. So it really depends, right, on the other team. But like I said, majority of the time, we possess the ball. We try to possess the ball. But there is nothing wrong with playing direct soccer and sometimes what I call ugly soccer. And is some coaches, that's their excuse when they are failures at tacticals. Tactical coaches, they try to attack other coaches about, oh, you play like that, it's wrong. Well, who wins the trophy and who gets the wins? Sometimes it gets to the point that you need results. And to be able to get results, your players need to be able to know exactly what to do when they play college or pro level, what the coaches expect. Not everybody plays 4-4-2 in the world. Not everybody plays giving goals forever, rest of your lives, or squares forever, rest of your lives. There are tactical coaches in this world, and they want to see a lot more than that. Okay? I hope that answers yours, TJ. Okay, guys, do you have any questions about any of this stuff? While I'm waiting, if you have questions, I'm going to repeat this while I'm waiting for any questions from those. I want you guys to take a picture of these. Winning attitude, the player we don't want to be, the ex-player we do not want to be, and the player we want to be. Okay, guys, now if you have any other questions, ask it now. I think we are doing good time. I know there was more questions in the chats, but let's ask those questions on Sunday during the day. Please send it to me, send it to your coaches so your coaches can send it to me. I love this work that we're doing, and I think I'm actually very happy. Honestly, I'm very sad about not being on the field and not being able to teach you guys, but I really think that some of the things I teach maybe to my teams and to tactical sessions I have with my teams, you guys don't get to hear some of these perspectives, and I think it's also good for the coaches to see these and hear this so they can pass on the word even better. And I'm really excited for these tactical live sessions. Do you have any questions about anything else that you want to see? All right, a question comes from Pedro. Can we talk about D-mid movements? All right, so let's rewind back to this setup. Always see they always set up 4-4-2. Like I said, everybody and their dogs only play that. It's easy to explain, I guess. So now let's just say we're in attacking position. We're already gone. Our outside forwards are already gone. Offensive position, you just need to recognize that. Let's just say all these players are going up and they're in attacking position, and we're right here. Okay, and this is the two D-mids. This guy and this guy are the two D-mids. See, a lot of times, unfortunately, what I see with these D-mids, they want to go forward every single time, and that closes the gaps, right? And this could be a good thing right here, right? It's showing up for a through ball, but that's not your responsibility when you play a D-mid in a three-back system. Okay, so if this player has the ball, we kind of talk about that. When we have the ball, we just need to be a little bit deeper, and that gives a little bit space for this player to open up too. And bomb, he can just go to that space and see this pass right here, and the next player is making a run to there, bomb, and he's already in, right? So the idea with this D-mids, we just want to always be the deepest guy to play make, because your role is to play make. So if you're under pressure, okay, if you're under pressure, you see the triangle happening, you do not want to receive the square. I know everybody and their dogs in Washington State love square, but my coach personally hated square balls because he wanted the center backs and the center mids always be deep enough to see what's next ball, and they also wanted to see what's in between them and the pressure. The only time my coach liked square if this player is pressuring this guy and this player has a lot of space in front of them and no pressure at all, then square ball is a good idea, or square a little bit in front, even a good idea, right? But if you have a player right here, about the pressed up player, it's better to back up. And even if he's not backing up, you pass the ball a little bit more back so he can see even a ball like right here. So you want to pass it away from the player. So what is our rule? As a passer, the player, you look at the player you're going to pass to, the player who's defending that ball, and that's this one too, and the space, which is here. So those three rules actually make it really simple for us. Okay. Another one is the movement as, let's just say we are attacking and this guy got the ball and he ended up beating this guy somehow and he's running with the ball. Don't give it an option here. We should be having enough options to make those runs. Make sure you're the one covering this and even follow him a little bit. So if he gets in a situation that he needs a drop, he drops it to you and you can open the game for him. And that's not just for the drop. We always talk about this. If he loses this ball to this player, you're going to be the first one to defend that counterattack. Does that help, Pedro? But next Sunday will be Q&A, questions and answers again. So send me your questions to your coaches during the day so I can get those questions and start preparing some stuff for it, okay? Thank you guys for your help. Thanks for sticking with us with this. And it's been hard to do these sessions, but I hope it's been useful and I hope that I'm doing a good job. I appreciate all you guys coming in online. Let's share this video that I'm just gonna stop right now and make sure all your players and coaches watch it over and over again because I think that's very useful. Thank you guys.